All right, David, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
I appreciate you being available to talk about living and doing business in Africa, Africa tours, and all those wonderful things, and getting our people connected.
Great. Thank you very much. It's a blessing to be able to serve our people. We're standing on the shoulders of great soldiers. Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Martin Luther. I mean, they fought the Panthers, Bob Marley, you name it, fought so that we can continue to fight. Ghana has an independence coming up in a few days, and again, they're saying, listen, let's take it to another level. Let's take this freedom serious that our people fought for, in Nkrumah. So we're having some lights out issues in Ghana, but we have to go ahead and bring solar. So that's what it's all about. They can't do it by themselves. They need the brothers and sisters in the West to come home to bring the solar, to keep the lights on, to bring the truth. So that's what we're doing. And I thank you also for, the good work and continuing to bring our people home. Africa for the Africa.
All right, perfect, David. Appreciate your energy on that. Yeah, Marcus Garvey is definitely one of our greatest prophets, especially when you're talking about the 20th, 21st century, things that are relevant to this modern day times. He laid a foundation, Africa for the Africans, self-reliance, self-determination. I feel most of the
That
issues
is
that we
true.
have are issues that we're making other people richer, and we're empowering other people, and we're making other people feel like we need them more than they need us. It's a lot of the psychological madness. It's like the traumatizing the psychology of 400 or 500 years of slavery to this era, the era of where you have a prophet Marcus Garvey, and wanted to pave a strong future for Africans, and wanted to link us with the African continent, which I'm proud that we're making strong moves, and we're connecting a lot of people realistically. We definitely need more numbers and need people to follow the program. That way, you have more success that's built.
It's true. Certainly, things should continue to unfold so that our people can see the light, because that deception is out there and they really are afraid. So we got to break that fear factor, We got to break that fear of the unknown.
Joining us, what we are talking about in this second hour is Africa for the Africans. Okay, and we do have Brother Bomani is joining us via our Skype line. And before we bring in and welcome Brother David, just give a brief introduction to our conversation today, which is an extension of a conversation we had just a couple of weeks ago with Africa for the Africans.
Greetings, family. My name is Bomani Taimba. I'm the Director of Africa for the Africans, Tourism Investments, and this is a special operation. We mainly focus on connecting our people with tours to the African continent, and also repatriation and investments. Now, the process of this start with our annual tour that we do every October. We've done a total of 9 tours. 7 of them have been in October. The other 2, July and December. And Ghana has been a great focus on how we can connect our people to their roots, their culture, link them with business, investment, and also give them a chance to just get away from, the everyday work that you do here in America, just running around in the rat race. You get a chance to relax and focus and have our staff take care of everything for you. Everything is well organized on the tour to where you're clear on everything before you come on the journey, and then once you get there, everything is set to where we want you to have the greatest time of your life and be focused on opportunities in the future. So we have work hard on these tours to where we laid out to get you to see the wonderful opportunities that's just by you just experiencing it for yourself. And this is just a great hands-on experience. And the wonderful thing about it, if you're looking to do more than just the journey itself, more than just the 2 weeks of the full region, the wonderful tour around the country, and all the great things that we have on the itinerary, business investment conference, and, going around the different cities daily, and also just connecting into the culture of the country. If you want to actually just live and spend more time, we have our good brother David that we have worked with. He has actually built the investment conference and built the repatriation and investment aspect. And we have worked together as partners, just like Amicus and myself have worked together. And these are, the three of us have worked together wonderfully. And the good thing about it is, all three of us are from the African diaspora, and we're doing wonderful things in the African continent. So the program is just really set to give you, the best experience for your investment. And if you're looking to just do more, we have things laid out. We have people in place to get you set up like we have done. Many of our folks that have decided that they want to, retire in Ghana, or maybe set up business, or maybe just, build a second investment or, vacation home or retirement home. So the opportunities are just very diverse once everyone connect with us. And family, I encourage everyone to take a look at the history of our tours. We have all of our details on Facebook, YouTube, as far as videos and pictures, and just another media source. And what we like to share with people is how it look on a day-to-day basis on the tour. What do we do? The sites that we go to. Yeah.
Wonderful. And let us welcome in. What a joy it is to welcome his voice back to LIB Radio. It's been too long since we've heard from you. Joining us from Ghana, West Africa, Brother David Akwaba. Welcome to you, Baba.
Oh, thank you very much, Brother Keedy and the African family. It's a blessing to be living in West Africa after growing up in America. It's a pleasure to be able to work with wonderful brothers like you all. Brother Bomani's done an excellent job. Brother Keedy, have a great love for you, for the work that you've been doing. I must say to the African family that we're really proud of Brother Keedy for that DVD on Ebola, because when we brought Ebola here, it was your DVD that we used to educate our people here on the source of it, and it really enlightened a lot of people. So this is the work that, we're proud of, Africa for the Africans, but we have to share that information. And that's what we're here for also, to help share the information that's available. So we here, again, we work in conjunction with Brother Bomani, Africa for the Africans, organizing the economic portion, because our people must become a little economic illiterate when it comes to Africa and doing business here. So basically that's what we're doing. And of course, being here almost 30 years, I've been able to establish some business and to overcome some of the challenges that we sometimes can be afraid of, like malaria and, just getting around some of the red tape. We've been able to master that, not only me, but like you mentioned, Sister Imakus and others. But then the work that we can open doors like pioneers so our brothers and sisters can come over and live comfortable in Africa. It's cold in America now. The weather is nice here. Yeah, so basically, we have to really continue the work of making sure that our people understand what it's like to invest here. I mean, we have to understand the laws of Ghana and West Africa and Africa in general in terms of how to do business. Sure, Africa is our home, but we must understand that, the African government don't really have what we would consider a right of return. So we have to sometimes understand that Africa has been colonized, brutalized, and the brothers and sisters that run this continent are a little paranoid. So we have to have some understanding and to educate them. So that's what we're doing. The Ghana government has an information desk for diasporan now, so we're working with them, and we have the Diasporan Coalition here organized to work with the brothers and sisters in the government to assist them in understanding and to help open doors. So there's a lot of things that we are doing, but we also need our people to come home and to experience and to talk and to feel Mother Ghana and Africa. Ghana is the gateway to Africa. Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey laid the foundation with the Black Star. So this is a perfect time to get on the tour this year.
Absolutely. While we continue, let's bring in the caller online too. I believe it might be Sister Imacus. Caller, your name, where are you calling from?
Is that? This is Imacus.
Aquaba, welcome once again to you, beloved. I hope you're in great spirits today.
I am. I'm right now in Reno, Nevada.
Greetings, Amicus. You're still in Reno. That is wonderful. Be safe on climbing those mountains.
Oh, no, I'm not climbing no mountains, baby. Not today. I'm just looking at them.
Oh,
yeah, so how's everybody?
Oh, we're doing well. It's myself, David, and our good brother Ron Bizzle.
Yeah, hey, brothers. I heard David. It's good to hear your voice, brother.
Hey, it's good to hear your voice, too. I'll be glad when we have dinner again in One Africa together.
Yeah, I can't say when that'll be, but we will have it again.
I appreciate it. I love you so much.
I want to
see. What's up, Brother Keaty?
Well, Brother Keaty is so happy to be in this circle. I want to see if I can direct the conversation into building on African history as world history. All this month we've had a fantastic series of programs really that leads us to the undeniable conclusion that we are now witnessing the rebirth of an African global empire, but especially a continental component to this empire that is going to create something that the world has not seen for centuries, especially in the last 500 years under the Ma'afa colonial extraction, enslavement, and the brutal exploitation of Africa. So my question, I'm going to send this question around the panel. My question to you is, to what extent do you believe that your comprehension of African history allows you to transcend this bridge that seemingly so many people of African descent growing up in America just cannot see a future looking across the water to the African continent? I want to bring this to you, Brother David, since you have repatriated to the continent. If it had not been for your comprehension of Black history and African history, would you find yourself in this place? And explain that.
Well, certainly, I'm really thankful. I remember reading, I think it was in the Found Call paper where the cartoon, the brother broke into the Black History Bank and got away with some great books and some great knowledge and freedom. So definitely, the knowledge of our history and the knowledge of who we are as a people is very key. The knowledge of our language. English is not our language. So one of the things that helped me a lot was to be able to go in and get history of our language, the language from the Nile Valley, and to be able to get the thought system. And of course, while we're in the Nile Valley, we got to look at the way we heal ourselves. We got to look at the history of healing. We are sick people. And I'm thankful for the knowledge that I was able to accumulate. There was some key books that was unearthed. Even here in Ghana, there was a book that the colonizer pulled up on the woody plants of Africa. And inside, they went in all their colonies, and they interviewed a lot of the great healers, and we got the knowledge of some of the herbs. And it's in a big book. So we put in these herbs, and they're healing cancer, they're healing diabetes, they're healing so many things. So the knowledge, we have to apply the knowledge. So now, you can say that, okay, the prophet Yeshua, Jesus was black. So what does it mean? It means that we got to take those pictures down. We got to know the history of how we live in the garden culture. We have to come out of the cities. In the ancient tradition, we had villages. We had the African holistic culture where we were the children living under the sun, and the sun beaming on us, and all the good food coming up, pure water, and we live long lives. So certainly this knowledge has helped me a lot to be able to, of course, we have farms, and we are growing lots of organic vegetables, trees, and we're sweating. And so when you talk about history, the history of the land we are land illiterate. I mean, growing up in the slave America, they taught us to hate the land, and we built America on the land. But we got to regain the knowledge of land, nature, in the ancient language, it's the same as God. So we have to get back to our knowledge of nature and ourselves so that we can live a fruitful, healthy life. That's just one aspect of it, Kitty, in terms of knowledge that I have used in Africa. And of course, I'm blessed to be a little over 60, and I'm healthy, strong. I don't get malaria because we was able to get the cure for malaria through knowledge that our people passed on, using the neem tree, using the bitter leaf, using the pawpaw leaf, and juicing and eating the organic vegetables here in the center of the earth. Of course, one Dr. Sabi said we have to eat the African food. So we lost knowledge, and Dr. Africa would say, Lalo Africa say we have to eat the food that we ate before we came to the West. So this is what we're doing now. We're making the food available to our people, and the brothers and sisters over there. We have to eat our food to become healthy. And we've lost that knowledge, and we have to get it back. I hope that can shine a little light on what you asked, Kitty.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
Appreciate your energy. Wow, David, that was wonderful, wonderful.
Sister Amicus, you say you are prepared to respond to that question of how the foundation...
I am. I would love to be able to stay on with you guys for the entire program. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to, but I would at least like to respond to this issue of our history. For me, knowing who I was first as a black person, not recognizing that I was in fact an African until things began to open up and I began to see there were some great people in my life like John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, and others who, it's like you're in a dark room and then you turn the light on. The history of us, of Africans, is just so profound. I remember my mother saying to me that the more I learned about myself, the more I learned about Africa, the worse I got, okay? Because she, along with a lot of others, did not see us as being African, did not see the significance of our history as African people because they didn't see our successes, only our failures. I think that I know for me that the icing on the cake was my visit to the Castle Dungeons the first time I went to Africa in 1987. And it so engulfed me as to how much African I was and how really important it was to not only have the knowledge, but to share the knowledge. Okay, sharing, learning as I went along. It's just really important. Like you say, you've had a fantastic African History Month. As far as I'm concerned, African history is an everyday affair, 365 days a year. The history of Africa cannot be capsulized and just put into a little box for 1 month and say that's all it is and that's who we are. We're more than that. So being who I am, being blessed to have been given the I won't even call it a chore, given the responsibility for opening up and sharing Africa with my brothers and sisters, working with people like Bomani and David, and not being afraid to expose who it is that we are, where it is that we came from, and to get more and more people involved. Because first and foremost, I am an African. And they ask me, well, am I a citizen of the United States? No, I'm not. I'm an amendment to the Constitution. First and foremost, I am an African. And we are here not because we wanted to be, but since we were brought here, we have made giant strides. We still have many more that we have to make because it's, we take 2 or 3 steps forward and then someone comes and pushes us back. So that the negativity of us as Africans is what is, concentrated on. So for me, I'm an African. I'm an African queen. You are my kings. You are my princes. And we are important. And we are doing and giving to the world what the world needs, whether they know it or not. But we are doing what we're supposed to do. I'm doing what the ancestors have put on my heart and on my shoulders to do, And as long as I do that, all of my needs will be met. So I'm going to be here in this area for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to try to get out there to see you, Brother Keedy. I'm going to be in Vallejo, California in a couple of days, but I'm definitely going to make it my business to get out there. I brought my books. I'm available for counseling for anybody that's interested in going to Ghana for a visit or to live. I am available, okay? And just let me say, I love you guys so very much. I'm running inside because my food is now on the table.
All right, cool. Amicus, I appreciate you, and we appreciate all the wonderful things you have done for the 180 people that we have brought there over the last 8 years, and we look to bring hundreds of more people there at One Africa. It's a wonderful place, and you have you have changed all of our lives, and we just love you so much and appreciate your energy.
Say this before getting off. The thing is that, the ancestors have told me what to do. The Creator has instructed me on what. Bye-bye, honey. The universe. And so I have the opportunity to travel all over the world and have some place to lay my head anywhere I go. And folks are taking care of me so much. I'm like, do I deserve that?
Oh, yes, you deserve all of it. And
yes, you deserve it.
And, we have your back.
So I love you guys. I'm going in here and get my breakfast.
All right, guys.
All right, stay strong. Breakfast. We just had dinner over here.
And I look forward to talking to you a little bit later today, Sister Amicus.
I'm going to call you back after programming.
Sounds great. Guidance and protection, beloved. And that is, again, Sister Amicus of One Africa, one of the finest slices of heaven you will ever witness. A beautiful resort on the Cape Coast region of Ghana. Brother Ron Bizzle, we still have you in this conversation. I want to redirect the question to you just a little bit different. Malcolm X says of all of our research, history is most qualified to reward our efforts. That from the wonderful speech message to the grassroots. Let me ask you, Brother Ron, before you made your first trip in this discovery of this Pan-African and African repatriation future, did you see yourself requiring this grounding on African history as a basis for opening up this door to a future and a present?
Oh, brother, thank you. That's wonderful. Sister Amicus is still there, Sister Queen. You have a beautiful, beautiful tour here while you're in the United States. Respect to you, Brother David. This is Brother Ron.
Oh, nice to talk to you, brother.
Okay, brother. Yes, Brother B, from a perspective of historical perspective, I do wish someone would have shut the tree and I would have really come to conscious of knowing about what we call today Black history. I'm just now finding out here recently in the last few years how much Martin Luther King was involved with travel to West Africa. They don't teach this in the schools. Probably most people don't know this. And if I would have just made that one connection, besides him just, they emphasized about marching and protesting on the streets, but didn't know he had this relationship with Mother Africa, people of his stature, others, all your people who ventured there, Langston Hughes and Angela Davis and Catherine Durham. If I could have sewn that together, if I could have been able to web that together, it would open up my eyes a lot earlier in my earlier years. This is one of the reasons, historical-wise, which is actually today what Africa to African is trying to do, is trying to get Black people involved in travel and discover and to learn through this whole thing what Malcolm is talking about in a crucible is options. We have options. And I was never raised to know that we had these options. And that's a big word. This option opens up the whole world like Sister Amicus was talking about. And when you do, get that time, travel back where your ancestors come from. Like I say, historically, we can use that word, but it's today. Everything is about today. Like the brother was speaking earlier, the Baba from South Carolina. I can hear his DNA from his father. I can hear his DNA. I met his father back in 1980. And that's why I say the historical thing is very important. It's a web. It's a wonderful web we have to embrace it. And Brother Malcolm surely opened up my eyes on that. But it just, for me, it's about the options. And I'm trying to teach that to the people through this, if you want to call it this historical month, the options that they have to travel, to have a passport. Because most of our people do not have passports. And we're trying to educate them to get them passports so it could open up the world for them, especially to travel to the motherland.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, brother.
You brought up some excellent points, and it reminds me further of what's in that speech message to the grassroots. And what Malcolm did say about our understanding of this history is that it allows us to see these options. It allows us to witness challenges that other groups in our situations have faced in the historical record and how they overcame, what tools they drew upon to overcome those options. And Malcolm, as Dr. King and so many others, did see ultimately that for us as people of African ascent in the United States to fully realize our historic potential, our present and future potential, we would have to have more and more of our intelligentsia, our leadership, crossing that bridge to the mother continent, getting some of those things that we were separated from us through the Ma'afa, this distortion of the enslavement, getting those and bringing them back to this country and installing those as helpful tools into our culture so that we could better solve our problems and face our challenges. Brother Bomani, is this one of the things that you are witnessing with the 180 of us who have traveled with Africa to the Africans to the continent, that people are coming back home with cultural tools that empower them here?
Yes, Kitty, and that is the way to go. And that is what Marcus Garvey instilled in our hearts. You know, when we read and we study about Marcus Garvey, that is the message, you know, for us to reconnect with our brothers and sisters and make moves to the African continent. And in order for us to make certain moves and understand what we're going to do with all our wonderful skills and talents, we have to learn the culture. And part of learning the culture is getting a chance to, or taking the opportunity to make a move and do what we call our Journey of a Lifetime tour. You're in Ghana for 2 weeks. You get a chance to go around the country. You get a chance to do the Business and Investment Conference, which is organized and put together by David, which he links us with so many Africans in the diaspora that are there in Ghana doing wonderful things. And they're there to share their journey, share their experience, shares their ups and downs for the benefit to help those who are looking to come understand clearly all the need to know. That way you can be as successful as possible, which will help us all work together to make stronger moves. So I really lay that out and refer that back to Marcus Garvey. And I was having a conversation with somebody, you know, one day, and I was telling them, man, we got to go back to the vision of Marcus Garvey, go back to Africa for the Africans, on how we connect with the African continent. It's something that's very possible. It's something that we know in our heart we can get done. And we want people to take their time out and understand that you need to break loose of all the things that you do on a day-to-day basis that are madness, and kind of cut back. And everybody cutting back can come up with the money that you need to make the journey for 2 weeks or stay longer. It's all in us. And one of the biggest thing is, our goal is to let people see the importance of their reconnection to the African continent. One of the things Amika said while she was here, she did a few different speaking engagements, and one of the things that really stood out, what she explained, was, because she always talk about our journey on living on the African continent, moving from New York. She tell everybody, you don't have to, you don't have to live in Africa, but one of the most important things for you to do is make that reconnection, and make that reconnection, because that will clear up a lot of things that are very confusing for yourself here in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm. Good points that you make. And I've gone even further, Brother Bomani, and we've taken weeks to lay out our case, and I'm going to continue taking however much time it takes to lay out our case, is that when we're talking about the sustainability of an individual, a family, a business, a community, the sustainability of a people, Africans in America will not be able to survive another 3 generations or 4 generations at the most without Africa as a primary asset as people on the whole face of this planet.
Absolutely.
Africa is the primary asset that gives us sustainability. Just like Chinese people in San Francisco, New York, Las Vegas, they have powerful economic enclaves in all of America's major cities. They know that their umbilical cord is the re-risen Chinese economic empire. And when you go to Chinese sections of American cities, you see opulence, you see new buildings, you see robust business, you see signs written in their own languages. Koreans are doing the same thing now. But when you go into the black areas of these same cities, you see a completely different picture. I'm going to put this question to you, Brother David. For someone who wants to consider moving into an African transnational economic future and might choose Ghana as an environment to do so, let me ask you, what kind of reasonable economic investment, financial investment in terms of dollars, tens, thousands of dollars, what kind of reasonable economic investment do you say they need to bring forward to this future?
It's a great question, Keely. Of course, I would say that $10,000 would be enough to get them started here. Of course, you know that the most countries, when you come to the dollar and their currency, the dollar is always somehow or another a little stronger. So when you convert that $10,000 into Ghana cedis, you get another 30% boost in the local currency. In terms of the CD, now it's three CDs to $1. So you're talking about 30,000 CDs.
So
and
that's
the CD
not
was like one. Yeah,
that's not 30.
30.
That's not
30,000 CDs for $10,000.
Yeah, just
with that you can build a house. 30,000 CDs, you can build a house, a 2 or 3 bedroom house. I would say, you know, that would be a good thing to do with the $10,000 what you got here. Get some land and build a house, because once you get the accommodation, you don't have to worry about mortgage payment and rent. I haven't paid rent or mortgage in the last 20-some years. When I was in America, in New Jersey, I had a 30-year mortgage. So when I moved to Africa, to Ghana, 92, I bought land and built a house. So that gave me the strength to break the back of the dollar. So that's what we got to do. We got to, ultimately, Keely, we got to, as Peter Tosh said, day the dollar dies. See, the dollar's going to die, so we got to make sure that we get off the money standard. We got to get off the money altogether and get back into living. You know, we got to stop trying to make a living and become the living. In other words, what we got to do, we got to have it but don't need it. We got to be able to use the money that we have, build, get our solar, get our water purification system, and get our food. And we don't have to talk about having lots of land. I have 50 acres, me and some partners, but we don't need to start that. You don't need that much right away. Just get a couple of acres. So basically, 10,000 would be a start. But if you don't have it, you know, you can come and if you want to live in Africa, there are brothers and sisters here that will assist you. There are organizations like the Hebrew Israelites. They will give you a place to stay if you don't have it, because there are places and like in certain countries, they have absorption for people that is getting away from certain kinds of, you know, we must remember that we are refugees also in America. And refugees is recognized all over the world, and they're given some standards. But, of course, we're not officially recognized in America as refugees because we was taken from our homeland, you know, and in America, we're refugees over there. So, in essence, there's some spiritual help for people that don't have money. So I'm saying that if you have it, $10,000 is good. But if you don't have it, you know, you can call people like myself, Bomani, even you, Keely. I know you will help. You know, someone said, I want to go to Africa, I'm tired of catching hell, tired of getting shot in America, you know, the police are shooting our people. We'll put together something to help our people here. So there's help for our people. So we don't want to just talk about money, because our life is more valuable than money, but money is important. We're not naive. And, of course, I'm heading up the economic part here for Africa, for the Africans. We bring on the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. You know, they have their laws. You know, it used to be $10,000 in order to qualify for an investor. That recently went up, but it doesn't stop our people from coming here to do business. We must remember Malcolm X also said that Africa, he believed that we must move to Africa because he said, I'm quoting him, doomsday is going to happen in the U.S. So anyway, Keith, I think 10,000 would be a good number to start. 5,000 would be good also. I'm just being plain because a lot of our people don't have that kind of money. So I moved to Africa in 1986 with a 2-year-old daughter with $1,000.
Wow.
But I had spirit. I wanted to get out of hell. I got tired of catching hell in America. I got tired of being the second hire and the first fired. I got tired of getting shot at. I got tired of being called a nigger. I just got tired of being a so-called second-class citizen. I just got tired of being around people that don't love me, and I just got tired. And as I said, if you love it or leave it, and I didn't really love it, so I left it. So that's my spirit,
Yeah.
So we have a saying, if you're going to divorce, the divorce rate is real high in the black and white communities. We can divorce each other, but we can't divorce the beast. So it's time that we divorce this beast,
Right.
I'm sorry, Keith, I get a little passionate about moving, so I hope we can get back to, answer your question, 10,000
Okay.
will be okay.
Yeah, no need to apologize. And we just talked about a 30% increase. Actually, that's 300% increase in just converting the dollar to CD. But beyond that, and as I'm listening to business news, I monitor business news in the United States very, very closely. Right now, people, the dollar is unusually strong around the world. Now, those economists who realize this, they say, well, ultimately, this is good in the short term for the American consumer, but it's bad in the long term for the American economy on the world stage. But here's the point that I'm making, everybody. We have to realize the U.S. dollar is a fiat currency. It is only backed by the confidence and belief in the system which produces this dollar. And if you look behind the scenes, the Fed has been printing these dollars like the machines are about to burn out. They're printing them so fast, which means it's unsustainable. So therefore, what I am saying to people, and I'm going to do the best I can to convince people over the next 30 to 60 days with our primary focus on transnational or Pan-African economics, is that as soon as possible, you need to remove your dollars from these banks that are in the scandals, huge bank scandals in the news every day now. You need to take your dollars out of these banks, put your dollars in land, in machines, in books, in skills, in talents, in tangible things that are quote unquote crash proof. And land, machines, development, farming, irrigation, hard infrastructure is crash proof. If the dollar crashes in 3 months and I have $40,000 of that sitting in a 401k being managed by Wall Street, the Wall Street people are going to get theirs first. And they're going to strand you and me like they did with Enron, like they did with so many others. People, if you don't hear this, you don't know what's coming. You got to get your money into something that will last beyond the next crash. And if we're looking at the 8-year cycle of crashes, it's almost 8 years since 2008. Anybody else want to comment on that? Let's begin with you, Brother Bomani.
Wow, Keedy, it's unbelievable. I'm originally from Kingston, Jamaica, born in the 70s, left in the late 80s. And it's unbelievable because growing up, I used to hear about this great America. It's probably sound crazy, but I'm dead serious. You used to hear about this, how great America is and everything. And then when you get a chance to just grow up in the system, live here, you're like, wow. It's like, it's a big scam. It's like, you're literally just here, just working in the system as just a modern day slave, empowering the system with everything that you do. And it's like, at this pace, we're never going to build anything for ourselves. So, it's like, from scams with the banks, just straight up just taking your money, to all the other things that we go through. We could have built like, several super nations with all of the work that we have done in the last 400 years that basically empower America. So I say to everybody, just consciously just take, 2 weeks away from all the time you have given this country and get away to Mother Africa. Myself, David, Imacus, Ron, and all the wonderful people there in Ghana. We're here to make sure that, you know, you see Mother Africa for what it is, all the wonderful, great opportunities.
Awesome. We have another caller joining the conversation. Let's bring the caller right in. Welcome to LIB Radio. Give us your name and where you're calling from.
How you doing, Brother Kid? This is Kevin Johnson calling from Woodbridge, Virginia.
All right, Brother Kevin.
Greetings, my brother Kevin.
From you, you're on with Africa for the Africans. Your comment or question?
Well, I just have a comment. I know you said that we need to have a lot of tangible items, and I heard the list that you just said off, but don't leave off gold, silver, diamonds. We need ammunition. We need seeds to put on the land that we buy to grow the food. We need all types of tangible. Commodities is nothing more but a way of wealth. Yeah, the land is fine. We need the computers and all the supplies. We need the shovels and all that stuff, but we need that also.
Okay, yeah, there's a whole spectrum of them. You and I have had many conversations, Brother Kevin, and I'll be honest, and maybe David or Ron, you may want to weigh in on this. I'll be honest, I've never been a fan of precious metals. Others disagree with me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either, yeah.
Did anybody, Ron or David, did you want to discuss? Because there, as Kevin mentioned, there is a spectrum of investments, including seeds and seed banking. I think that all important. But then again, if you have seed banking and you are not growing food, that's just another investment that's not producing. Was it Ron? I believe you were speaking.
Yeah, brother. Kevin. Brother Kevin's talking about gold and silver and those types of commodities. I got notification over 10 years ago about buying gold and silver because the hold and gain is value. And that U.S. dollar, what they call those types of currencies, they can be called at any time or reevaluated, and you can lose a lot. But the gold and silver over the years, like Brother Kevin's talking about, it's a very, very important thing. This is why they're scrambling all over the continent of Africa right now, especially West Africa, digging up even more gold, because it has a lot of value, and it retains a lot of value, and it gains compared to all the other things that are going with the feds and stuff.
Brother David, did you want to weigh in on that as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I agree with that, Kevin, and of course with the seeds also. As a farmer, I made it my life goal is to grow as much food as we possibly can, because land is the basics of freedom. Once you have land, you have your seed, and we all must remember that you got these devils with this genetically modified scientific concoctions that they're coming up, which is really it's genetically modifying our people. It takes control of our people's minds. So our investment now is crucial that we get away from what I call devil's food. Okay, devil's food is anything scientifically made, genetically modified, chemicals. These things are a direct attack on us instantly. So we must bring our families out of that kind of devil's food environment and get some seeds and grow food. If we are in America, we need to grow food. I know, Keita, you're growing food. I really want to commend you there. Get these seeds. There are some organic seed companies, and we need to just continue to grow food. And then, of course, look forward to the day when we can be in Africa and grow more. We have 50 acres, and we're growing organic vegetables, moringa, pawpaw, plantain, bananas, and also we have accommodation because we must plant ourselves. We are seeds, so we must plant ourselves in the land. So by hook or crook, as Malcolm said, by any means necessary, we need to get some land in Africa and start moving gradually. It's not a Shazam. It's not going to happen all at once, but ultimately, them devils, Monsantos and all of them, they are really genetically modifying, creating Frankenstein monsters, and we have to be aware so that we don't become a monster, Frankenstein creation, through eating their food. So these investments are crucial. We must get our mouth out of the white man's kitchen, as Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. So investment in seeds and food is crucial at this time.
Absolutely. The future belongs to those who plan for it today. As we look around at the environment here within the United States or on the African continent, are we seeing the right type of plans being put in place? And if we are seeing the right or wrong plans, where is this coming from?
Well, I would say the plan is Africa for the Africans. You're part of it. You're part of the solution. I always tell Brother Bumani that he's doing the work of the late Leon Solomon. You all are doing the work of the late Leon Solomon. We've done a great job bringing our people to West Africa every 2 years. Sorry, all over Africa. And I was blessed to attend one of the last conferences that he did, I believe in Ghana. And he had heads of state. You know, you had all the so-called leaders, Jesse Jackson, all the big boys who was here. And then when he died, it stopped. And I said, wow, don't he have a lieutenant that can continue? But Bumani is doing the work. He's doing it. So continue to support him. That's the plan. Let's get our people to Africa so they can look around. We need help. I mean, that was the Europeans helping Europeans to come to America. There was Europeans helping Europeans after the Germans collapsed, you know, after World War II. It's the Marshall Plan. We have to have the help that we deserve. And so I would say, Brother Keaty, Brother Ron, Bumani, you know, this is the plan. We are the plan. We are the plan and we're the man. So let's stick with this plan.
Absolutely, David.
You've done a great job educating our people. I mean, I've looked at the research that you've done. You're a genius. So, and I really love the way you've gone live and you're eating good and taking care of yourself. This is the future. We have to be the example, the new man. So my take is, let's follow the plan, Africa for the Africans. Let's get on the tour by any means necessary. And then let's continue to get the land, and let's continue to be inspired and be encouraged. We don't have all the answers right now, but as the time unfolds and a new day arrives, the solution, the ancestors will give us what we need at the right time. But this is certainly the path, Africa for the African. Malcolm said it. Martin Luther King said it when he said, we as a people will get to the promised land. Marcus Garvey said, Africa for the African. So all our leaders, key leaders, said the same thing. We got to get to Africa. We may not all move at once, but at least let's follow the plan. Let's follow the plan.
Mm-hmm. David, appreciate your energy, and I had a question for you, and you're also one of my great inspiration, and I have one of your book, Treasure in Heaven, a Black Guide for Investing in Africa. It really just changed my life. Just wanted you to share the great investments as far as things you can really just live from in Ghana.
Well, certainly I'm glad that we was able to put this book together. Me and a brother from New York that also moved here, Brother Gabriel. Our goal is just to share what we learned. And just being here for 28 years, you become, I've actually spent half of my life on this planet in Africa.
Wow.
So basically I'm older than most of the Africans here, and I'm still a young man. Mm-hmm. But I have to share with my people because, again, it's always good to know before you go. It's good to know how to prevent malaria. It's good to know that you can live without depending on money. It's good to know that the sun is shining and the weather's sweet. It's good to know that there are people here that you don't have to worry about getting shot. I can walk down the street in Ghana and I don't have to worry about getting shot. I can marry 2 women here legally, and I don't have to have the romance. I'm not the Rome man. I don't have to get married under the Roman laws anymore. The homosexuality is a crime here. You will go to jail. These things we have to make sure that our people know. There's life after the death in America. So our book deals with treasures in heaven, Black Guide to Investing in Africa, dealing with what we see here on the ground, how to avoid the pitfalls. You can get the book by going to the website, www.africafortheafricans.org. I love you all. I'm here for you. I'm blessed to be, and as Bob Marley says, the weather is sweet, makes you want to move your dancing feet.
Wow, yes.
I love it here.
That's right. We do have another caller. We're going to take this call real quick before we begin to wrap up the program. Welcome to the program, caller. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hatapu is Brother Amasis Ma'at from the Tamari Empire.
Greetings, Brother Amasis. You're on with Brothers David, Bomani, and Ron. What are you hearing you would like to respond to?
Well, I have a background in healthcare, so I wanted to find out if there is a 911 type system there, and if not, how could we start to set something like that up?
David, did you want to respond to that? Telephone
Yes,
system?
yeah, we do. We do have the 911 here in Ghana, but we need help because sometimes it doesn't really work the way it should. To be honest with you, Ghana is still a developing country, so we need people that have the information on helping us to live a more fruitful and better life. That when there's an emergency, certainly, we can use the 911. We can use those services. I was watching a movie. It was called 911. I believe Holly Berry, was starring in it, and I like the way they was able to just be on it. So it's here. Africa's developing, and I would say, brother, if you have the idea, we have a saying: if you have the idea, then you have to be the one to help implement the idea. So bring it on. We need you in Africa. Africa, as Bob Marley say, awaits its creators. Africa awaits its creators.
Yes, so very true. Mrs. Did you have a follow-up comment or question?
No, I just want to need to contact him or others that be key people to begin to get busy setting it up while I'm here until I drop down there and get my feet hitting the ground and running.
All right.
Excellent,
There are
excellent, brother.
So many opportunities. I was researching just yesterday the fiber optic bundles that have been dropped now all around the African continent still have not had a proper interface to the people to be able to use them. So people are coming up with, and mostly, unfortunately, foreign companies are coming up with all these creative ways to link the community to the new high-speed access to the world, which these 650 gigabytes per second fiber optic bundles now allow to the African continent. This is open, and I can assure everybody over the course of the next 35 years, it's going to be fully developed. Our people just got to get in early, get in deep. So, Brother Amos, you and I will continue our conversations on what we can do to rally more of our people. I love you calling in, and we're going to begin to wrap up the show. Thanks again, Brother Amos, for those insights. That's it. We're going to go around the table and begin to wrap things up. And again, the theme of this past month, African history is world history. Black history is African world history. So, with that theme underlying our conversation, I want to each to take just a second, or about 30 seconds or so, to just give the listeners the opportunity to see that this is the opening to the future that we've longed for so long. Let's begin with you, Brother Ron.
Yes, this is history in the making. I'll be real quick. Ghana just had a business conference 2014 at the end of last year, which primarily spoke about energy, trade, and tourism between the state of Florida and Ghana, and agriculture. This is something that's big. Family, you need to get in on this. This is a really big boom that's happening right in front of us. I don't want our family to miss this. And I want to speak on real quick about people who want to retire, who have pensions, who have Social Securities. Come travel with Africa for the Africans and come over and just see for yourself. So we can hook you up with Brother David, Sister Amethyst. Brother Bomani has a wonderful, wonderful plan for this. Okay, I yield.
Thank you, Brother Ron. Excellent points you make. And people will be able to maintain contact with you through AfricaForTheAfricans.org.
Yes, Africa Hands-On Incorporated also. If you need to call me personally, it's 954-851-6746, and I can get you associated with the brothers overseas, the brothers and sisters, or Africa for the Africans, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Let's go to you, Brother David, Baba David, about this window to the future. Now that we understand that Black history is African world history.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank you, Brother Keaty, for, making it happen. Really appreciate the work that you're doing. I would just hope and pray that the people continue to support you, tune in to it, and be blessed. We're here in Ghana as part of the movement of, as Bob our people to assist our people making the exodus. The Overground Railroad continues. Freedom is not free. Freedom is a burden. Slavery is a burden. But the burden of freedom is much greater. So it's not going to be easy, my people. It wasn't easy for Harriet. It wasn't easy for our great leaders. So, but again, freedom is worth the challenge. It's worth the burden. So continue to have courage. I had courage and I had faith, and I came into the what we call the unknown. The future is unknown. So when I left America in 1986, I went into the unknown. America was the known. I knew how wicked it was. I saw all of the wickedness. But the unknown has proven to be a blessing. So don't be afraid of the unknown. I'm 28 years in the unknown, and the unknown is like heaven to me compared to hell. And I want to thank Brother Bumani for having the courage to continue to bring our people. Brother Ron, I want to thank you. So, in essence, let's stay with the plan of Africa for the Africans and applied knowledge. We know a lot now of the black history, so it's time to apply the history. We were once great as a people. Let's be great again. It's in our genes and our DNA. Thank you very much.
People can maintain contact with you or get in contact with you, Brother David. How can they do so?
Okay, two ways. You can go to my website, which is being upgraded now, www.yesmoringafarms.org. Moringa is spelled M-O-R-I-N-G-A, farms, F-A-R-M-S, one word, yesmoringafarms.org. We are in the process of shipping all the time moringa and other products to our people in the States and other parts of the world. Of course, you can also contact me through Bumani's website, africafortheafricans.org.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks so much for being
here. Yes, correct. And my numbers also from Bumani's website. You can just call and get my numbers from Brother Bumani. You're most welcome.
Okay, and I'm going to push these links up to yesmoringafarms.org. You'll see that on my Facebook page. Brother Bomani, this window that Africa for the Africans is opening up for many people to pass through, the past, the present, and the future. Your final thoughts?
Yes, family, I really appreciate the ancestors empowering me based on my first few journeys to the African continent and let me know that I need to go back like the great Harriet Tubman and empower and educate our people and let them know that you need to come home to the African continent, link, and things will open up for you. And we do this in a great way, and I love this journey. Kitty, you've been instrumental on the two biggest journeys that we've ever done. Ghana, October 2007 and October 2008. Now what we have for you is Ghana, October 2015, the journey of a lifetime. We want our people to experience a vibrant Africa with a mix of roots, culture, paradise, nightlife, shopping, networking, business, and investment opportunities. And this is what we call the Ghana Repatriation and Investment Tours. So for anybody that's looking to just traveling to Africa for the first time, we get you prepared, and I'm available to go to many things with you. If you're looking to live and do business there, you're looking to make power moves, I have two people. You just heard from both of them, Sister Amicus and Brother David. David has been very instrumental on assisting me with setting up over 10 different people that wanted to move from from here in America to Ghana, and we have been able to get them going, and they're very happy with their move and everything. And that's our thing. Once you connect with us, we'll do our best, and we'll make sure we guide you with all the details and everything you need to know. You don't really have to go to anybody else. We're here for you. Myself, David, Sister Amicus, Ron, and the people that we do business around the world. We have a complete network dedicated to getting our people connected to the African continent for the greater success of building an African nation, and also for the work that Marcus Garvey have done to lay things out for us. We want to make sure we complete the journey and make things work for us and build a future for our children. And start with you taking the journey.
That is so beautiful. Thanks to all of the brothers and to sisters and to the callers for today's program. This concludes this beautiful month that we have spent on Black history is African history, and African history is world history. People, stand up. Take your place once again on your throne and lead the world. Lead the world from a position of confidence, because you know that the methodologies that you transferred to world leadership do work, because you have proven them in working in your own home, your own community. We have a tremendous future ahead of us. The past, the present, and the future are all one. So let's continue to stay busy today. Here in Las Vegas, I'll see you tonight at the West Los Angeles Library, where Professor Dr. James Smalls will be hosted from 7 p.m. That's free to the community. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend. We'll be seeing you Sunday, or you'll be hearing from us Sunday, as we return with our flagship program, our think tank, the Falcon Forum, from 12 noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. GMT, and that will be also from 8 p.m. East Africa Time. African history is world history, and LIB Radio is your interface to the past, the present, and the future. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe yo. And Baba David, maybe you could say greetings and goodbye to everyone in Tree.
I want to say Nantie.